Hello guys, this is Vaish. Today is the third episode of the MCQ series. So this is economics episode. Again, 5 MCQs will be discussed, but please see to it that you have seen the previous two episodes. The test series which you have been inquiring, these are the subject-wise test series, and this will be valid across February. Okay, and 2022 students, this is not valid for you because a lot of updations will happen in all the test charts, current affairs, everything will change. So see to it, the older current affairs you can buy, but other subject-wise and all, there will be changes, and there will be new test included also. So the package will change, the pricing will change, everything will change. Okay, so it will be almost the same price only, and the test now count will be more. Okay, revision charts, snippet card, everything will be more. So please wait for the launch around March 1st, and comment your score, because the purpose we are doing it live is you can answer it there itself, each question, and at the end you can comment your score also. And Lakshmikant lectures will continue as per the comments and likes which comes. First question for today, which is actually based on NCRT. Which of the following are false? Economic growth is a precondition to economic development. Second statement, economic development can be assured by economic growth. So this question, a two statement type question, is always a little difficult because you cannot do any elimination. You have to know both the statements, only then you will be able to solve the question. So here if you see, economic growth is a precondition to economic development is a true statement. Okay, here we are asking which of the following are false. So if you see second statement, economic development can be assured by economic growth. Okay, so nothing can be definitely assured. Okay, you have to know one thing. One is based on quantity, and one other is based on quality. So economic development is a qualitative unit, that is like removing poverty, unemployment, etc. But economic growth means it is just referring to the quantitative unit, that is like numbers or GDP, that kind of thing. Okay, but the quality need not improve. So that is why economic growth is a precondition to economic development is true statement, because we need the numbers. But economic development can be assured by economic growth is not true. So that is a false statement. The answer is 2 only. Now second question, which of the following is correctly matched? Recession, slowdown, and meltdown are three important economic terms which you see in the newspaper every day. So if you don't know these terms, you will not be understanding the concept. That is why these things are put in the prelims test series. So recession, fall in growth rate; slowdown, fall in GDP rate; and meltdown, fall in stock prices. And none of these. So which of the following is correctly matched? So here if you see, meltdown is the fall in stock prices. So that is true. But A and B, that is recession and slowdown, we have interchanged. So recession is actually the fall in GDP rate, and slowdown, fall in growth rate. That is the time when these terms are used. Okay, even though interchangeably it can be used, this is the textbook definition. Okay, and this is a 2010 UPSC question. So you cannot doubt whether this is correct or wrong. This is a answer key which UPSC has given. And already economics, even though we don't have a full series, our test series completes the entire concepts and economic survey, budget, everything. But lecture wise, there is one lecture which I have taken based on inflation. So the concept of inflation and related terms, everything is explained in this particular video. So that again you can simply search in YouTube. Okay, Vaishay's Ramesh Singh videos. You will get at least 2 to 3 videos. Okay, which are all important. We did not make it more because some things are not important in the textbook, and also the response from students were not enough. So please see to it that you watch and comment on every video so that we continue every playlist which is open now. Now, next one, which of the following is a mechanism which indicates commercial banks provides credit to government? Okay, this again is a UPSC question, so it can be a little tricky, but you have to know the concepts. Okay, which of the following is a mechanism which indicates commercial banks provide credit to the government? So cash credit ratio, debt service obligation, statutory liquidity ratio, or liquidity adjustment facility. Okay, so this is a UPSC question, and the answer to this is statutory liquidity ratio. Okay, SLR, which we call. So you should know what is CRR, what is SLR. There is a lot of quantitative, qualitative instruments, many things which RBI use and many things which government use. Okay, so all these things will help maintain inflation or maintain the assets and all these things. It's very, very important because every year one question is sure to come from these concepts. And in my economic test number 1 itself, it's all covered. Okay, this is actually test number 2. Like this, I think for economics this year it's 4 tests, and next year it may be 5 tests. So These concepts, if you study nicely, any question which comes in the prelims or in the mains can be answered. Okay. And you will not understand most of the things when you read normal textbook, 11th standard, 12th standard and all. These concepts might be there, but it will be in numeric terms or something like formula based. So you will not understand most of the things. You have to understand the concept wise. Okay, so that's why with pictures and graphs and all, I have explained this thing in the test series. So SLR is something where banks have to maintain liquid assets in the form of cash, gold or government securities. Okay, so this is how the banks have to maintain. So obviously when banks get government securities, they are providing credit to the government in order to purchase them. So that is how the logic is, and that is how UPSC cleverly made this question. Okay, so as I told, UPSC questions can come very easy also and can be very tricky also. It depends on your luck. Okay, every year the question weightage and subject marking, everything keeps changing. But these are topics which you cannot skip at all. Okay, if somebody tells you these are not important, they are not guiding you the right way. See to it that you study all these banking concepts. Next question, which of the following are true about quantitative easing? Okay, this also was in the news since last 3-4 years continuously. So it is a monetary policy enacted through the central bank of a country. It involves sucking of liquidity from the market. It was performed for the first time in India as part of demonetization in 2016. So 1, 2, 3 or 2 only, 1 only or none of these. So this if you see, answer is 1 only. Okay. The first statement, it is a monetary policy enacted through the central bank of a country. It's true. And it involves sucking of liquidity. That is wrong. It is actually the opposite of that. It's actually supplying money into the market. Okay. And then it was performed for the first time in India as part of demonetization. That is also wrong. This is actually a thing which is an USA concept. Okay, USA, it originated in 2007-8 after the recession time and global crisis and all. And after that, most developed countries use this. Okay, supplying money. So this keeps coming. USA have been doing it. So one article I have given, Hindu News, which is a 1-year-old article. In that clearly it has explained the whole concept. Okay, so if you are knowing nothing about this also, you will understand. That is why in my test series, it's not only textbook references but also newspaper articles I give, because this is how UPSC decides to form questions. Okay, if it has come in the news, it will be asked, not because it is just in your textbook. Okay, so this one you can again pause and see. The concept is this thing only: increase money supply in the economy in order to further increase lending by commercial bank and spending by consumers. Okay, it can even backfire if inflation goes beyond estimated limits. Okay, if you keep pumping money, obviously it will lead to inflation. So that is why it has to be a predetermined quantity of money, and it's like well planned when doing this. Okay. Index of 8 core industry in India is released by. Okay, this report based or any indicator or any index, if like who is launching it or what is the parameters used for making it, or which has the highest weightage. These are the type of questions which UPSC keeps asking. So here if you see, all the bodies will be familiar to you. CSO, Central Statistic Office, then National Sample Survey Office, Niti Aayog, then Office of Economic Advisor, Ministry of Commerce. So including the ministry I have given, so that is extra knowledge for you. So index of 8 core industry in India is released by whom? So this is Office of the Economic Advisor. Now one thing you have to study is CPI, cost price index, or a WPI, that is wholesale price index. Then there is a PPI, producer price index. So there are many indexes, and about everything question has come. Okay, about WPI, I think the latest 2020 exam had one question. Okay, and it was covered in my test series also. And here if you see, 8 core industries are these industries. Okay, electricity, steel, refinery products, crude oil, coal, cement, natural gas. This and all how to by heart it also in my snippet card. I have given you what is the easiest way to by heart it. One video is also there in my YouTube. You can watch that. Then the weightage is there. Is also asked once, like how much weightage it is and which thing has the highest weightage. Okay, earlier it was I think electricity, but now it is changed to refinery products. So that's updated current affair. And then fertilizers have the lowest weightage. That was long back also. Fertilizers was one having lowest weightage, and it is released every month. So this kind of very minute things, UPSC has a habit of making 2-3 statements and asking. Okay, so please see to that you know what is 8 core industry, what is WPI, what is CPI, what is part of what, and whether food articles are covered, whether manufacturing products are covered. There are like it's a basket of goods. Okay, so basket, what all it covers. Okay, I think this year's question was that only. WPI does not cover services, it covers only goods. That kind of one statement came. So you should know what index contains what kind of items. Okay, so this is this question. So 5 questions are covered for today. Again, I'm telling this is part of your economics will be in pack 8. Okay, 5 economic test if you see, it's 4 based on the static thing, like examples like what we studied today, and then one test is economic survey, which I'm preparing now because the budget just came in. So about that I'm making, I may not make any video for that, but I'll make a detailed test series, and I'm thinking to give the last year's economic survey test free with that. So meaning for 100 MCQ test, if you pay, you'll be getting 200 MCQs. Okay, that plan is going on, and mostly by March mid we'll be publishing it. Okay, the offer. So please wait for that. And like this, many are there, and this economics test will be again part of the pack 1, in which everything is there, and you will get extra revision charts and snippet cards also. At least 10 to 20 economics charts are also there. So please WhatsApp me, so you will get the details of it. So next episode will come soon, and subscribe the channel and also give comment. And for 3 free test, just message 3 free test to this thing. Okay, 3 free to email ID vaishupsc@gmail.com, and immediately you will be given 3 tests, 2 current affair test and 1 spectrum test. So you will know what detailing you are missing by not enrolling. So I'll come up with the next video soon. Thank you and have a nice day.